morning, everybody. It is time for Chat with Chap, and I am your host, Ginger Wade. Hey, this week, I found an oldie buddy goodie that I did a little while ago, a year or two ago, maybe, that, actually, it might be 3 years. Oh my goodness, time is flying. That I posted in the New to Homeschooling in PA group, in which I am a moderator. My friend Alicia had asked me to create a video showing what a junior and senior high portfolio could look like and the things that would be in one. So I did that years ago, and it struck me, I came across it just the other day, and it struck me that I never did something like that for Chattin' with Chap. So this was just for a group of, that particular group is for those who are just starting homeschooling, getting their feet wet, trying to know things. So I came across it and I thought, you know what, that is really good. It has really good content. So I'm going to reshare that very video with you here. This is just a little starter, and we're going to go into that, and then I'll have a few comments on the end of it. But it is a video. I'm specifically talking about what you can put into a portfolio for a junior or a senior high school student. So that'd be 7th through 12th, or secondary, if you're looking at the way our law speaks about it. Now, of course, these concepts that I talk about would also apply to elementary aged students, but there were some folks who were wondering about the whole senior high thing and what do you do with dual enrollment classes and stuff like that. So I chat about it. I even show some samples from my own portfolios in the video that you are about to watch, and then you can have a suggestion. I mean, it doesn't have to be a certain way, right? So go ahead and watch the video, and I'll come back with you in a few minutes afterwards and talk to you about a few of the things that I do a little bit differently at this point in time. So here it goes. Hey everybody, I'm Ginger. I made a post yesterday that said I was going to come on and show you some junior, senior high portfolio samples so you know what to put together. Amy did a really great little video the other day showing you some samples, and it sounds like, I guess, yeah, Amy's got a junior hire but not any senior hires yet. So I have graduated one. I have 6 kids, graduated my oldest. My second oldest is a junior this year, and then I have 8th, 6th, 3rd, and somewhere between kindergarten and 1st grade on the end. So I'm going to chat with you. If you aren't familiar with me, I do a video every Wednesday at 1 o'clock called Chattin' with Chap on the CHAP, Christian Homeschool Association of Pennsylvania Facebook page. So if you want to be encouraged in a weekly basis by different homeschool topics, you can check me out there it's at Christian Homeschool PA on our Facebook page. So that's me. I'm Ginger. And if you hear any noises, it's my family running around. I was eating my fabulous salad and I went, oh my goodness, it's 1 o'clock. I'm supposed to be doing a Facebook video. So here I am. I grabbed 2 portfolios and some stuff, and we'll talk a little bit. First of all, I want to encourage you to not be afraid of the senior high portfolio, or even senior high in general. There's lots of help out there. But you can make portfolios as spectacular and as boring as you want. There's no rule. There's no rule for any of it. And it's just between you and your evaluator. Evaluators like to see projects. They like to see hands-on things that you've done. You don't have to take the projects themselves. You can take photos of the projects and put them in your portfolios. We tend to keep our projects, show them to the evaluator, and then they get pitched unless they go in the keepsake tub. Each kid has 1 keepsake tub. So more than that, it has to go bye-byes. So anyway, in my son's portfolio, I usually just do a 3-ring binder. Look, it's very boring. I don't have anything on it or anything. I actually don't even label what year this is, but I know it's his freshman year because of what's in it. On the front, this is how I keep track of days. There's a little calendar with his name on it. And I highlight the days that he did school. The different colors really don't mean anything. It just means I couldn't find my orange highlighter. But sometimes I will use a general calendar for everyone's school, and we'll mark off holidays and stuff like that way. But that's how I keep track of my 180 days. Then my second page is, I shouldn't show that. That's his grades. He might want you to see. So it's a list of all the classes he took, how many credits they were, and what grade he got. And then on that, and that's just because that's what my evaluator wants. It's not because there's some law about it. That's just what she suggested to do. So it has all the classes he took, how much of a credit it was, what grade it was, and then I listed the field trips we took, and I listed the volunteering work that he did, or work. And if your child has a job, you should put that on there because they learn so much by working. And honestly, my one son is a camp counselor. I count all the weeks that he camp counsels. I mean, that's good stuff. He's learning to work with kids and manage big crazy situations, and that's good learning stuff. So anytime that they're working, I count those times. Anytime they're volunteering at church or go to the food bank, whatever it is that you do, whatever it is that you volunteer for, you want to write that down because that's important stuff. Your evaluator should know that your kid is involved. Sports, any of that stuff listed on your thing. And then my next page is a book list. Book lists do not actually, I'm sorry, I forgot to mute my phone. Book lists do not have to include every single book that you've read for the year. Just a sampling. I list a lot of them, but you don't have to have every single, like if you're like, go to the library and your kids get like 50 of the little readers, you don't have to list every single one of them, but lots of reading is awesome. And then really all I do is bland and boring. Now my younger kids get into we'll get one of those dividers with the tabs on the end. I'll say, okay, this one has to say math, and then you can decorate it, and they'll decorate it. My boys, now when I have senior high girls, they might feel differently about their portfolio, but my senior high boys did not care about decorating their portfolio. So it just says, geometry. Yay, there it is. And then I listed his grades. I do keep a little spreadsheet that helps me calculate grades. So I listed that out for my evaluator. And then all I did, we use Math, you see. So all I do to show her what work we've done is to put out the tests. The corrected tests, and she sees the grades for all of them, so she can see that he went through and did them. Now, if you wanted to include a sample of work, like Math, you see tests are multiple choice, so sometimes you don't see any work. So if that feels awkward, you can put in some work. But as it gets harder at senior high maths and stuff like that, you have to show work on your test. That's just how it is. So she did see some of his work that way. That's how I do math. It's really not too big of a deal. He did earth science through a co-op. I did not do science at home. So what I did is for senior high classes at our co-op, and I'm sure pretty much anywhere, they have a little syllabus and a description of the class. Always print that out, stick it in there, and sometimes I even put in the schedule so the evaluator can see what they did. And then they received a grade, so I write the grade down somewhere or print it out or something. And let's see what else is in here. For sometimes there's a lot of papers from the co-op classes and sometimes there's not. This particular co-op class was really hands-on, which was great, but there wasn't a lot of paperwork. So the little things I had, sometimes with co-op classes there's not a lot of paperwork, so whatever I can find I stick in there. But there were a lot of pictures. So we had some class pictures, and sometimes people will just print them out on a sheet or here, these are just loose pictures, so I just threw them in the front pocket. Here they were making a glacier that was oozing down and attacking the Legos. That was great. So what I do, another thing that I do that you might find really helpful is I have a Snapfish account, and I take pictures throughout the year, field trips, sciencey things, plays, family nights, whatever. And I make a book. Snapfish always has specials going on. I can get an 8x11 hardcover book for $10 at Snapfish, not a big deal. and you can create a school yearbook. And for everybody or for individual kids, however you want to do it, doesn't even have to be a hardcover. It can be one of those little floppy 5x7 things. And put in the projects, the events, the field trips, the class pictures, whatever. If you're co-op, some people at our co-op like to take pictures and then they'll post them on our group page. So you can pull down pictures from your co-op group page and upload them and stick them in your Snapfish book. So, and then that creates this nice little, it's like a memory book, but then it shows the evaluator too all these things that your children did. Like if they have those big trifold boards that you do for doing speeches and stuff. If you do digital portfolio, some people do that. I'm a paper portfolio person. Not really sure how the digital ones work. But you could stick video on a digital one, obviously, or take pictures of the big trifold board, and then you don't have to keep the big trifold board. So let's see. Let me flip through here, seeing if there's anything else that is of significance to share. So this is another at-home class. He did economics at home. So I wrote my own little generic description here. So I had a sheet that had a description of what he was going to do, which is pretty much just what the book says it covers. I didn't come up with something out of the sky. I mean, the back of the book has a description, what it's about, right? Or you can look at the table of contents and say, oh, well, we're going to talk about, this, 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 and this, because that's what's in the table of contents. I did plan out what he was supposed to do which week, so I did kind of come that particular time. He did econ, and I came up with a day 1, day 2 schedule, and I did put that in. I don't always do that, but whatever documentation I do create like that, I put in there so the evaluator can see it. I do keep spreadsheets for grades for each class for anything he does at home. Co-op classes are graded by the teachers for me personally. Every co-op is different. So I got a grade from his co-op teachers, and I put that in here. This I actually print out the spreadsheet so she can see the assignments and the values he got on the assignments for that. And then he did a American history with us, and we actually had kind of like a workbooky kind of a thing. So I have his workbook sheets in here for history. It's like a big chunk of stuff. So I did put all that in, but you don't honestly, you really don't need to put it all in. I tend to, because I don't know, he worked hard on it and it's there. So I honestly, this is a pretty thick portfolio. It doesn't need to be this thick. It really doesn't. Evaluators probably be happy with less. Probably. It depends on your evaluator again. But since we did it, I kind of feel bad just chucking it. Put it in there. And sometimes I had a son who dual enrolled. I'll show you his portfolio then. This is pretty thin. Because he did work online with the college, and I ended up not having access to it when I needed to throw the portfolio together. So he had a few papers at home, and I threw those in, and his grade sheet and stuff like that, and then that sufficed in his portfolio for that. And sometimes they just work so hard on something. I do, like for English, he took an English class at our co-op. Even if he would have done this at home, I do like to put in 1 or 2 with edits, just to show that he was working on editing. Now, you don't have to show every single edited sheet that your child ever did. But if your teacher has really good comments and you want to show that, the teacher was saying things about Asher or what he's doing or whatever, then I would put some things in. But you don't have to put every single paper from every class in there. But a sample is nice. Then we use Fix-It from IEW, and if you've ever looked at Fix-It, that is like a grammar program where you're actually editing a story, and you end up having the whole handwritten story yourself that has good grammar. So I put that in, and that has vocabulary in it, so I just put all those pages in. And then extra stuff, like he does drama. I direct dramas. He's in my dramas. We always do a character bio sheet, so I always put their character bio sheets in there because that's part of what we do. He did an I Start Strong that particular year, which was a survey to show where your strengths are. He went to a career and college day at the local college. So that paperwork I threw in there to show that he went and did that. This is at the end, at the very back of the portfolio. Throw in all the little extra stuff. So if you want, here's our co-op's presentation night program. I threw that in. Here's the spring recital. He took guitar lessons, and he was in a recital at the college. I threw that in. All kinds of, we went to Hopewell Furnace that year, flyers from where we went. It's the same as your little kids. You just throw it in there. His brother was taking drum lessons at the time, and he went to his brother's drum recital. Well, I threw that paper in there just to show that he did that. So I just throw in little things like that. Sometimes I throw in some art. I don't think he took art that particular year, but if they have some cool sketches or whatever they did at home that year, I might throw it in or use it as the cover of the portfolio. His is the script for the show that we did that year, the play that we did, so I throw that in. Just, I don't know, it's a keepsake, it's kind of fun. So this one, it did turn out pretty thick. I think I kept in way more some of the history pages that I needed. It's really thick. They don't need to be that big. I don't know, I think that day I was feeling sentimental about keeping papers. This portfolio is pretty skinny. This is my other son who graduated. So the one I just showed you was from a freshman year in high school. And then I think this is Joel's senior year. This is senior year right here. So he dual enrolled, took a drama class, did some classes for me, did some classes, whatever. Well, his senior year, actually, let me think. That was more like his junior year. His senior year, it was all dual enrolled. It's so funny. It all gets blurred. And did drama with me. So again, I didn't have my highlighter pencil, but it's the same calendar, and I checked off his days. And he's the one who's a counselor. So I put all that stuff in there. He had to go to some concerts for one of his classes, so I threw any program that we went to, I just throw in there to show that we're out there doing stuff. So he did some of that. Program from the play that we did, his character bio sheet, and then anything from his classes from the college. So some of them, there wasn't a lot. So whatever I could find, I threw in to show that he was doing stuff with at the college. Because, it's a college level course, and all their grades and stuff, they do their stuff online. So I printed out, when he got, syllabuses from everybody. So I made sure he got those to me. I threw in his sheet that had grades on it from the college. It was printed off from the college. And then, let's see, it's really just whatever paperwork I could find from his course. There wasn't a lot to put in. He had a drawing thing that he had to do, so he had some sketches that I threw in there. It was a theater class, a theater design class, so he was just doing some sketching. So I threw some sketches in, and design. I had to do some stage design things, which was kind of cool. I threw those in because it's kind of fun. Some of them get really big though, so I didn't throw them all in. And that's really pretty much everything. There's this portfolio is really more like of the bare bones. Hey, yeah, I took a class, and when it's for me, if it's a dual enrolled class, it's a college level class. You just kind of have to show that you showed up and did some work. If it's a class that I do, I kind of feel I have to show that it was a valuable class more. I don't know what that is. So I throw in some more of our paperwork, but really it's just a sample. And my evaluator always said, I just want to see progress from the beginning of the year to the end. Just show me a sample from the beginning, a sample from the middle, and a sample from the end, and that is fine. So even with my other son over here, where I put in every single test from that year from math, I wouldn't even really have to do that. I could just put in test 1 and 2, test 15, and test 30. So you don't have to throw in tons of papers. You really don't. And then all those other things are extra, and you can get rid of it. Yay! So I do sometimes, though, show them, my son took, this is backwards. I didn't flip my screen. This is Dave Ramsey's Personal Finance, which I highly suggest you have your teenagers take. If they don't do Matthew Seed's stewardship class, You got to do Dave Ramsey. Get your kids knowing how to do finances. I learned so much, and I wish I had learned. I learned like when I had kids already. I wish I would have learned at Joel's age. So get your kid taking that class. You can take it at home. You can take it at a co-op. I don't know if he has an online class. You can look into that. Or just even listen to Dave Ramsey on the radio. But like he left his worksheets thrown in his notebook. So I just ended up grabbing this notebook and taking it to show the evaluator because it was easier than ripping pages out and sticking it in the thing. So that's really it. I mean, there's not much to it. Honestly, it is not different than keeping an elementary notebook portfolio. It's really the same thing. You're just showing proof of work. You're just showing proof of work. And if you put things in and the evaluator wants to see more, then don't throw everything away before you see your evaluator. You can go home and get more. And then when she signs that paper and she says you've done what you've needed to do, or he, whoever your evaluator is, you can get rid of all the extra junk. I do keep... Oh, that's right, her evaluation. I keep my evaluations separately, so they're actually not in their portfolios. So she does a write-up. My evaluator does a write-up, and I keep this in a separate folder for my kids. I don't keep them with their portfolios. But once you have that write-up, and that's all that your school district gets from you, is just that write-up from your evaluator, you don't need to keep all the extra fluff stuff. And this, like, I would keep their portfolios, if it's not a keepsake. Keep them for a while. I mean, I kept my son's who graduated. I still have all of his. But I know he's not going to want them. He will never look back at them. It's not a keepsake for him. So at some point, they're all going to go bye-bye. He does have his diploma now and is working. So... I can't imagine he's going to need his portfolios, but I'll keep him for a few more years, I guess. So, yeah. So if you have any questions, please put them in the comments. I will answer them if I can. If I can't, I will find the answer for you. And any of you veteran moms out there that are watching, if you have anything you want to add, anything that you have done, anything I might have forgotten, please share so everyone can feel prepared. I'm very happy to help you any way I can. And again, if you're interested in other types of encouraging videos and information, please stop by CHAP's Facebook page. That's at Christian Homeschool PA on Facebook, the Christian Homeschool Association of Pennsylvania. I do a video every Wednesday at 1. It's called Chattin with CHAP. And if you go to our videos there, you'll see that there's over 100 videos there for you to check out. From law to encouragement to anything. It's all in there. So... hope you're having a great day. Hope you have a great weekend. Hope that gives you some encouragement. And if you need more encouragement, please just drop a line and let me know, and I will answer your question. All right. Have a great Friday. Bye. So, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that video. I was watching it the other day. I was like, wow, yeah, I remember doing that video. That was good. So, there's a few things now that I actually do differently. I've graduated 2 kids now. I have 4 left in school, and I actually don't do the little chart. Like I had a little calendar there where I highlighted the days that we did school. I actually don't do that because my affidavit attests, or my unsworn declaration, I use that also. It attests to the fact that I do school for 180 days. So I feel that since I'm attesting to that in my formal documentation, that I do not need to actually do a chart for that. Again, got to talk to your evaluator and see how they feel about it. I keep schedule pages anyway, so it kind of shows all the days that we do anyway for our sake, not for the evaluator's sake, just so we can keep track of what we're doing. So that's pretty much the same thing. But I actually don't do that calendar chart anymore. Let me see here. I did make some notes. When I talk about the write-up from the evaluator, right there near the end, I put the write-up. That's the evaluator letter. You know, at that time I was calling it the write-up. It's actually the evaluator letter. And that is the thing that you photocopy, keep in your records, and then hand in to the school district. The other thing I didn't mention in that video, because we were kind of talking about senior high, is testing. So if it's elementary, or then those 8th graders there who are supposed to take your standardized testing, make sure the results for the testing get put in that portfolio too. I did notice that I did not mention that. I mentioned the book list, which is actually the log. That was the one thing that I was like, oh, I call it the book list. According to the law, the word for it is log. That's the book list. So the book list or log is in every single year. And then the 3rd, 5th, and 8th grades, you also put in your standardized testing results into your portfolio. So I did not mention that in there, I think, because I was talking about my junior and senior high aged kids. So let's see here. Oh, IEW, the way Fix It was working, I was explaining that. They function a little bit differently. It was funny. My daughter was listening to the video with me, and she said, well, Mom, it doesn't work like that anymore because they're actually doing it on their own, and I'm not working with them on it. So she said it functions a little bit differently than it did when I made that video. So if I'm talking specifically about a curriculum-related thing, the curriculum may have changed, just so you know. Also, my videos are now on Tuesday, which you guys all know because you follow Chattin with Chap. They used to be on Wednesday, but now they're on Tuesday. So if that's confusing anyone, it's because it's an older video. But still very pertinent to what we need to do with the law. Last thing I did want to mention is in the notes, someone was asking me about gym class on the video. What do I do for gym class? I actually don't necessarily document gym class at all. It's on our schedule, so I check it off. My kids do sports, so I take pictures of them at their sports, team pictures or pictures of them on the field or whatever, and I throw that into my Snapfish photo book. That's really the only way I document gym class. If you aren't involved with sports, and maybe you do a co-op class or something like that, you could just list the co-op classes that your children have taken so you can see that there's something happening there with gym class. It's really just a matter of maybe some photos or just writing down, oh, we did this, this, and this. We like to hike and bike and climb or whatever it is that you like to do as a family for PE. But that's how you could document that you did gym class. The last thing I wanted to mention is a friend of mine. I was talking about how long to keep the portfolios. She had mentioned that HSLDA does say to keep the evaluations. I did just talk about this last week, but keep your evaluations, your diploma, and your transcript of your graduating seniors always and forever. Amen. I talked about trying to apply for certain jobs that they might want those things, or trying to go to school later in life, even if they're not going now, that they might want those things. And the other thing that my friend mentioned, Alicia mentioned, was if you need a special security clearance. So if you do get a job where you need a security clearance of some kind, many times they will ask for transcripts or diplomas or things like that. So it's always wise to keep them on hand so it does not hinder your students from getting any jobs or positions or being able to enter any type of school in the future. So those are the things you definitely want to hang on to. Those portfolios, goodness gracious. Did you ever go back and look at any of your stuff from high school? No. So don't feel like you have to keep everything. Keep what you feel is a nice keepsake. And I talked about that in my last video, so you can check that out if you wanted more information about that. But that's the portfolio. So hopefully you feel really good about getting that together for your evaluation coming up. So yeah, it's the middle of May. So make sure you have that evaluator lined up. Make sure you are gathering information, get your testing done. And those evaluation letters are due by the end of June 30th to your school district. So hopefully this was helpful to you. We would love to see you come out to convention. We can talk about some of these things further. We're here to mentor you, help you, and guide you, to provide you with resources for next year and, planning on into the future. We are here to support you in your homeschooling journey. So thanks for tuning in today, and enjoy these beautiful days together with your children as you all learn to follow Christ in all of life. So have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.